We've got confirmation on how guests can see World of Color, rumors that Disneyland will be full capacity very soon, up close meet and greets are coming back, but will they be lightning lanes? And we've got some OMG MSEP news, all coming up next on Fresh Baked. Hi guys, David here with Fresh Baked, and we've got some news from around the Disneyland Resort that we want to share with you guys. And we're going to start with confirmation from Disney as to how they're going to be handling how guests can actually see World of Color and Fantasmic. That's right, virtual queues. You may remember back in the before times, Fantasmic and World of Color were both on the FastPass system. But it was free then, which makes people wonder today, is Disney going to try to put World of Color and Fantasmic into Genie Plus, which of course is not free? Would Disney dare to make guests pay to see World of Color and Fantasmic? No, of course not. Today, Disney confirmed that World of Color, which is going to be opening in just a little bit over a week, will be on the virtual queue system. The system that was made famous by Rise of the Resistance, we're going to be using that very same system for World of Color. The virtual queue system will be accessible only through the Disneyland app, aka no paper fast passes. So if you don't have the app yet, if you held out because you didn't want to do Genie Plus anyway, but you do want to see World of Color or Fantasmic, this might be the final kicker to get that Disneyland app, I think. As for the details, distribution times are going to become available at noon daily. But unlike Rise of the Resistance and Web Slingers, where you can book those virtual queues at home, you do need to be in the park, in either park, Disneyland or California Adventure. You do need to be in the park in order to book that virtual queue at noon. So expect those usual cheers or groans or what have you daily at noon, just like we heard before with Rise of the Resistance and Web Slingers when guests were trying to get their reservations. It's going to be a tense moment right around noon. I expect that these will be booked up very, very quickly, just like they did for Rise. Best of luck to you, everybody. That's all I can say. I'm actually worried about this a little bit, especially for those of us who are trying to see this show on opening day. It's going to be tricky. But it wasn't actually a lot different. If I recall, getting World of Color and Fantasmic Fast Passes, they sold out pretty quickly in the morning. You had to be there at 8 in the morning for those because they were paper Fast Pass, and you just walked in. You had to go to one of the things to get one. Those were gone pretty quickly too, as I recall. Meanwhile, there are going to be just 2 sections, blue and yellow. And it's suggested that you get there about 45 minutes before showtime to check in with your reservation if you were able to get one. Now, this is important, the fact that there are only 2 viewing areas, because within those 2 viewing areas, the blue and the yellow viewing areas, there are no individual spots. There are no individual seats. It's going to be first come, first serve within the area. So while they suggest 45 minutes, I might recommend getting there a little bit sooner if you have a desire, if it is your plan to get, if you have a certain view, a certain spot that you prefer, and you want to make sure you get those, you might want to be there a little sooner than 45 minutes. Otherwise, you're going to be 6, 7, 8 deep and not on the rail. You know, that's an example of one of the good spots on the rail. You're going to be 6 or 7, 8 deep. Maybe you can see pretty good. Maybe you can't. I don't know. Maybe there's a few kids on shoulders between you and the show. I don't know. So I'm not sure if 45 minutes is enough time. Now, if you don't get a reservation, and surely there are going to be plenty of people who don't, there will be standby. Disney has confirmed there will be standby. In their update, per the Disney Parks blog, show up a few minutes before or just before the show begins and see a cast member, and they'll show you where those standby viewings are going to be. Again, I might recommend getting there a little earlier. I might recommend kind of, floating around that area to see how soon cast members are starting to queue people up for those standby spots. If I recall, those standby viewing areas are going to be back on the other side of the walkway with your backs against the Little Mermaid, Ariel's Undersea Adventure. That building, that's typically where the standby viewing was. And those are going to go away pretty quickly too, at least in the first few weeks. Down the line, a few months from now, it'll be a little bit less competitive. But if you're trying to see the shows right away, again, I would plan ahead, plan accordingly. Now, Fantasmic was not mentioned in this update. They mentioned only World of Color, but that's probably because Fantasmic is going to be, that's not for another month after this show. But I have no reason to think that they wouldn't do exactly the same setup for Fantasmic. So expect the same situation. Expect virtual queue, noon, distributions, and be prepared for that. Now, let's talk next about a rumor being reported by Disneyland News Today. According to their sources, the Disneyland Resort will be at full capacity, will go full capacity as of May 1st. Now, what we can infer from this, if it's accurate, is that Disneyland hasn't been at full capacity at any point up until now or going up until May 1st. Attendance has been limited, most likely, as reported, due to a shortage of cast members. But as we've reported in previous news updates, that situation would most likely get resolved once they enter that phase where all cast members are going to be or are required to be fully vaccinated. That actually happened as of 3 days ago, April 11th. And my assumption, the inference here, is that Disney believes that they will have been able to replace all the cast lost due to the vaccination requirements. And by extension, the current high levels of attrition will have been overcome, that they believe that they can get everybody back fully staffed by May 1st. Get the park fully staffed, you can then open up the park to full capacity. Fingers crossed, but this does ask one more question. Will they still be trying to control attendance with the reservation system? And yes, I have no doubt of that right now. Disney loves the reservation system. So even though that they are going to be willing to have a full park on May 1st, will they have a full park on May 1st? That date and going forward is going to tell us a lot about how receptive guests really are to the reservation system. If we see completely full parks as of May 1st going forward and into the summer, then that means that there has been a reasonable acceptance rate by guests. If their parks are still not as full as we recall, then people are not showing up, they're not making reservations, that there is a lack or a reduced attendance, a reduced acceptance of the reservation system. This summer is going to be very, very interesting. I am looking forward to seeing how all this plays out. Meanwhile, speaking of reservations and virtual queues, how about Lightning Lane? We've got some Lightning Lane news for you. Specifically for character meet and greets. You've probably heard by now that traditional character meet and greets are coming back April 18th. And it's being reported by the OC Register that when that happens, Disney will not be using Lightning Lane's system for character meet and greets. They will not be they will not be included in Genie Plus. You may know that over at Walt Disney World, they've been doing character meet and greets for a while with Genie Plus. You can book a meet and greet with the app, with Genie Plus at Walt Disney World, but that will not be the case here at Disneyland. Now, I'm not sure if there's a reason for that. I'm not sure how well the Genie Plus system is working with respect to character meet and greets at Walt Disney World, but they're not going to do it here in Disneyland, and it could be for the same reasons that we've been discussing, for months now with the Genie Plus system, is that guests here in California react differently to that kind of thing than guests do at Walt Disney World. They're much more inclined to use Genie Plus at Walt Disney World than they are here at Disneyland. So I think this is good news. For us guests here, it's good news. The less that we use Genie Plus here, the better, in my opinion, the more smoothly the park operates. Okay, I mentioned some MSEP OMG. It's this. Look at it. That's the Main Street Electrical Parade version of Elliott, and it's a popcorn bucket. Normally, I'm not a popcorn bucket guy. I think I've bought 2 in my life, but look at it. It's so cool. Never in my life have I had I need to have it feeling about a popcorn bucket, but there it is. I need to have it. And they went one better even. There's also an Electrical Parade turtle sipper, and now I'm dead. I am 10 years old, sitting on Main Street at 8:30 at night, waiting for the Main Street Electrical Parade, eating popcorn out of my Elliott popcorn bucket and drinking a Coke from my Electrical Parade sipper. And they light up too. I ever told you that I'm a sucker for lighting effects? No word yet on price, though I'm imagining somewhere in the $20 range. That's usually where these are. People aren't concerned about that part. What they are concerned about is how easy, aka how difficult it's going to be to get one. There are going to be long waits at the popcorn carts where they're selling these, for sure. I don't think it's going to be, Figment level that we saw. I don't think it's going to be like that, but there will be some competition to get these buckets. Patience will be required, and speaking of that, they did use the word season in this update. That is, while supplies last, availability may vary throughout the season. In other words, they're going to make these things available for more than just a couple of days. So if you miss your chance, if you can show just a modicum of patience, and you might be able to save yourself some time and anxiety by waiting until the third or fourth day to try to get these. Just like we saw at Figment at Walt Disney World, there was that first day demand, and then you could just walk up and get one after that. I don't know if that's going to be the same here at Disneyland in terms of being able. I think that there's going to be a less or a more limited supply of these buckets than there were. They made a ton of Figment buckets. I think that there's still going to be a more limited supply of these, but I do think that they will be available a little bit more readily than what some people anticipate. By the way, there will be some electric sweet and salty popcorn to be made available to go with your Elliott popcorn bucket. No picture was given, so use your imagination when I tell you it's colorful sweet kettle corn combined with butter-flavored popcorn. And you're going to find it at the Fantasyland Theater and Small World popcorn carts. Speaking of which, there's more MSEP OMG news. The food that they're preparing for us for the return of the Main Street Electrical Parade looks pretty fun. Fun and tasty. That's the Unicone, found at Gibson Girl. For you churro fans, there are a few. The blueberry looks good on you churro that will be found at the Hub churro cart with optional blueberry cheesecake dipping sauce. I will definitely be coming out of churro retirement to try that one out. There's also the Parade Dreams churro at the Town Square cart. Colorful sugar-dusted churro with fruit drizzle and garnished with rainbow candy. I'm going to guess nerds. Those are nerds. Also at the Fantasyland and Small World churro carts, you've got the electric sprinkle dip, citrus buttercream, frosting with sprinkles. You can also get a minecart brownie. That's fantastic. White chocolate dipped tart or dark chocolate brownie topped with sugar gems. And then there's the Linzer cookie, citrus shortbread Linzer cookie with strawberry glaze. Meanwhile, over at Coke Corner, the electric relish dog. Thank goodness for something savory. That's a lot of sweet. We need some savory. That's an all-beef hot dog, bacon, mustard cheese sauce, electric relish. What is electric relish? And sport pepper served with a choice of Cuties mandarin oranges or a small bag of chips. Or you can get the Firefly chips, corn chips, topped with chili, cheddar, Monterey Jack, and jalapenos. Yes to all of this. My plan, I think, personally, I'm going to try to do everything, all the Main Street Electrical Parade food and buckets in one day. Not opening day, of course, because I'm going to be filming and trying to get a spot on Main Street for opening day. But I do think I'm going to be doing an every Main Street Electrical Parade food treat thing day at Disneyland. Stay tuned to Fresh Bake for that. And finally, going back to World of Color, part of this announcement for the Main Street Electrical Parade included an update on dining packages for World of Color. They will have them as well. 3 of them, actually. Paradise Gardens Park will be hosting a World of Color dessert party. Wine Country Trattoria will have a formal dining package that will include a 3-course meal that gives you the options of either chicken parmesan, fettuccine alfredo, salmon, or vegetable lasagna. And Storytellers Cafe will be offering guests the chance to upgrade their reservation to include a reservation for World of Color. Per the Disney Parks blog, when you arrive for your reservation at Storytellers, you would need only let your server know that you'd like to upgrade. In other words, you don't make a special separate World of Color dining package reservation for Storytellers. You just go to Storytellers on the website, book a regular reservation, and then when you show up for that reservation on the day of your visit, you tell your server that you want to upgrade. You want to add a World of Color reservation. As for the dessert party and the Wine Country Trattoria, watch the Disneyland website for updates on when those are going to be made available for purchase. They're not available right now on the website. Stay tuned. We'll probably get an announcement on that at some point, so just watch the website. Follow us here on Fresh Baked. Look on Twitter, that kind of thing. You'll know when. Do pay attention to that, though, because I have a feeling those will get booked up pretty quickly as well. And that's it for today, guys. Exciting stuff. It looks like Disney is really trying to ramp up, get into parks fully operational and ready to go by the beginning of summer. And so very exciting stuff. This is going to be an interesting couple of months. I cannot wait to cover this for you. So stay tuned to Fresh Baked and follow us on Instagram at _Fresh Baked, on Twitter at Fresh Baked Disney. That's fresh with no E. and on TikTok at Fresh Baked Disney. There's also our website, freshbakedisney.com. If you like our show and want to show your support, please do consider joining our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/freshbaked. And if you are looking to book a trip to go to Disneyland, Walt Disney World, any theme park in the United States, book your package through us. Use the link in our description. We are affiliated with GetAwayToday, a premier travel, Disney planning travel site. Book with GetAwayToday. Get some fantastic customer service in the process and help support Fresh Baked. We'd appreciate that very much. Thanks again for watching, everybody. We love you very much. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. And Fresh Baked.